What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we're back. The Senate is back in session. I've got video footage from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer you're not going to want to miss as they're hitting the ground running, saying they're going to be delivering on promises. He's going to be touting all the things they've accomplished, and he's going to be mentioning what is on the way here. Now, let me know, do you believe them? Well, we'll see, because this is midterm elections, and they want to win. They want to stay in power. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer does not want to be Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He wants to be in the majority. They want to win. So the pressure is on for them to deliver. I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage. We're going to be seeing, you're going to hear them talk about more funding, more stimulus, budget bills, continuing resolutions. Let's go ahead and dive right in. This is your breaking news, stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, also wanted to mention yesterday, a bunch of people got emails from me to get access to the relief roadmap. And you guys, thank you. There has been such overwhelming support. It has been absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you guys so much. I know that this is going to be such a blessing to you guys. We have poured in so much time and money and energy and effort into this. And already people are saying that this is such a blessing to them. Now, I did see there was a couple people that said they've had login issues. They can't access the site, things like that. On the main page, there is a little button that says members login. You're going to go in there. And if the password or something's not working, you can reset it. I'm going to be contacting technical support today so that way we can see if we can figure this out. And also, when I open it up to everybody, you'll be able to just go to www.reliefroadmap.com so that way you can access that site. So that's going to be coming this week. And please contact me at contact@reliefroadmap.com. I'm going to be going through those personally, making sure that I can respond to you guys if there's any technical issues. But again, I am so glad that this is going to help so many people. Like I said, the past several months, we've just been pouring in hours and hours, sleepless nights. Yes, there is a small charge to try to recoup some of the cost of the money I poured into this, but I'm trying to make it very, very small for you guys. And also, I covered the list of all of the states included, because if there's nothing for you and you know, it's really difficult right now for a lot of people, I want to make sure that this is the utmost value so that way you have the confidence of knowing. And so I will let you know if there's not anything available. That way you don't have to spend the small amount on that. And you guys, there's tons of resources in there. I know are going to be a blessing. So thank you so much for all the support, and I'm looking forward to keeping this rolling. I've actually got some new programs that are hitting that I'm going to be adding to this as well. So there's more coming for that, you guys. But let's dive into the articles and video footage of what's going to be coming on a federal level from Congress. Just take a look at the headlines coming out, you guys. Congress is back in session, primed to fight over oil pipeline permits and more pandemic funding, you guys. Congress returns to work this week from the summer recess. Lawmakers are heading into battle over a critical stopgap spending bill that threatens to pit Democrats against each other. As the Senate gaveled back into session on Tuesday yesterday, lawmakers working behind the scenes on a deal to extend government spending past September 30th deadline when the fiscal year ends and funding runs dry. Democrats, who have a thin majority in the House and the Senate, plan to introduce a bill that will temporarily fund the government until sometime in December, getting them more time to finish spending bills for the rest of 2023's fiscal year. So you guys hitting the ground running. They are back at it. We're hearing about more pandemic funding, more promises. Wait till you see, you guys, everything included. And this is following the president's request for this. Take a look. Just a couple days ago, Biden administration asked Congress for funding for critical needs. More money to go out to Ukraine. We're hearing about $40 billion, pandemic spending, monkeypox, natural disasters. All of these things are saying we need more spending. So it looks like more is on the way. And like I said, we're going to be hearing from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who's going to say more is on the way. And he's going to be touting what they've already accomplished, but also talking about what they're going to be bringing here very soon. Now, we will see you guys, and I will keep you up to date. Now, let's go ahead and dive right in so you can see it for yourself, what he had to say in their first session back from recess starting yesterday. But before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates and everything keeping you up to speed, don't forget, smash the like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. It's totally free. Turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time updates come out. Any specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Don't fall for the scammers here on YouTube that say contact me on WhatsApp. And they put my picture. That is not me, you guys, okay? Contact me at Instagram at SteveRam3 to get a hold of me directly. And I've got a second channel, Steve Ram Finance. More content coming on that channel to help you out as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into this video footage so you can hear them saying they're going to be delivering on their promises. More is on the way, and they've already delivered so much, according to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
Mr. President, and I'd like to welcome you and all of my colleagues back from the August work period. I hope everyone had the chance to travel across their states, meet with their constituents, listen to their concerns, and share all the major accomplishments the Senate secured over the last few months. Indeed, the Senate gavels back into session after a season of immense productivity. When Democrats assumed the majority in 2021, I promised we would leave no stone unturned in tackling the biggest challenges facing our country. 20 months later, Democrats have delivered on our promises. We promised to lower costs for the American people in the wake of crippling inflation. So we passed the Inflation Reduction Act to reduce energy costs, reduce health care costs, expand tax breaks for working and middle Americans. We also promised to take on big pharma and lower prescription drug costs. So we passed historic legislation to lower insulin costs for seniors on Medicare, cap out-of-pocket expenses, and empowered Medicare to finally be able to negotiate drug prices. This for the first time ever, long sought after by many Congresses, accomplished by this one. We promised to take on entrenched oil interests and get tough on climate change. And so we passed the largest clean energy package ever, by a long margin, by the way. Thanks to our work, Americans will see their energy bills go down, their savings go up, all while we created millions of new, good-paying jobs and finally dealt with climate change in a very significant and real way. We also promised to bring manufacturing jobs back to America and get tough on adversaries like the Chinese Communist Party. So we passed the CHIPS and Science Act, the largest investment in manufacturing jobs and science research since the aftermath of World War II. And of course, we promised to take on the NRA, as you well know, Mr. President, and protect our kids from gun violence. So we passed the first gun safety bill since the Brady Law 30 years ago, which I was proud to author when I was a member of Congress. Now, none of these accomplishments were easy. They demanded immense patience and persistence above all. But for anyone who thought Washington was broken and couldn't do big things, this Democratic majority has shown that real change is possible. And the results speak for themselves. Jobs across the country remain up. Americans are going back to work. Our supply chains are healing. In fact, freight rates on ocean trade channels have dropped by 60% since January. And as gas prices continue their 2-month drop, we're seeing evidence that inflation might be starting to ease up. Of course, the work isn't done. As we begin this short work period, we have several high-priority items that demand our immediate attention. Before this work period concludes, the Senate must come together to pass a continuing resolution to extend government funding beyond the September 30th deadline. Last week, the administration sent us a request for a number of funding items they'd like us to work on, from aid to Ukraine, pandemic relief, and other items. This process, of course, needs to be bipartisan. Democrats are going to work in good faith to avoid even a hint of a shutdown, and it is my expectation that our Republican colleagues will do the same. We'll also work this month to confirm even more of President Biden's judicial nominees. Later today, the Senate is scheduled to vote to advance the nomination of Judge John Lee to serve as Circuit Court Judge for the 7th Circuit. If confirmed, Judge Lee would make history as the first Asian American judge to sit on the 7th Circuit, joining the proud company of other Biden nominees who are making our courts fairer and more representative of our great country. A graduate of Harvard and Harvard Law School, Judge Lee was unanimously confirmed by this chamber a decade ago to serve as a district judge. In his time on the bench, he's proven himself to be impartial, fair-minded, and committed to the rule of law. Judge Lee will be the first of many judicial nominees that we will advance this month and beyond, because now more than ever, the Senate must make judicial confirmations a top priority. We have a lot of work to do in the Senate to keep improving the lives of the American people. So in the coming weeks, let us continue with the same vigor, the same determination, the same persistence that has made this one of the most productive Senate sessions the Senate has seen in a long, long time. Finally, I want to say a few words on another monumental development that happened over the August recess: student debt cancellation. For the past 2 years, I've repeatedly stated that with a simple flick of a pen, President Biden could lower costs for millions of Americans by canceling their student debt. Everywhere I go, student debt is always front of mind for many of my fellow New Yorkers, as it is for millions across the country. There are many who don't have student debt, many. But for those who do, it's deep. This is not just one of 10 issues. This is the issue that really bothers them and motivates them. To have to wake up in the middle of the night saying, how am I going to make that $400 payment next month when my salary doesn't stretch that far? What am I going to cut out of my life? Well, with that long-awaited flick of the pen, President Biden gave tens of millions of Americans a new lease on life by canceling significant amounts of student debt. To President Biden, I say thank you. Thank you for listening to our calls. Thank you for taking action. The President's decision will make it easier for millions of Americans to finally pursue their own American dream. Whether that means making that down payment on a house, or buying that new car, opening a business, or saving for retirement. It'll help close the racial wealth gap that still holds far too many Americans back. And most of all, it's going to make our economy stronger. Now, over the past few weeks, we've heard a lot of fake outrage from Republicans, saying that canceling student debt is nothing more than a giveaway to wealthy Americans. The same Republicans who made tax cuts for the ultra-rich their number one priority are suddenly apoplectic at the thought of helping working and middle-class Americans with student debt relief. Well, here's the truth, I say to my Republican colleagues. Among borrowers who are no longer in school, 90% of the debt canceled will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. The opposite of the tax cuts that Republicans pushed for, where the vast majority of money went to the top 1% and the top 10%. So let me repeat that. Among borrowers who are no longer in school, nearly 90% of the debt being canceled will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. And let's not forget, a majority of student loans are held by people whose family have zero net worth. Zero. A majority of student loans to families who have zero net worth. That's why the greatest help will go to those with the greatest need. Pell Grant recipients, which for the most part come from families making under $60,000 a year, will have up to $20,000 of their debt canceled. So rather than helping the privileged few, canceling student debt is going to lift up Americans from all walks of life. Students of color, poor Americans, children of immigrants, working and middle-class families struggling to either get to the middle class or stay there. So again, I thank President Biden for taking action. And I also want to thank champions like Senator Warren, who's been such a great partner in this activity, Senator Warnock, Representative Presley, who joined with me in calling for the President to take this step. They have all been great partners in the effort, and I'm glad our efforts finally began to pay off. I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.
So there you have it, you guys. That was Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer yesterday in their first session back from recess. And you heard him talking about all the things that they've accomplished, the executive actions that have taken place for wiping out student loan debt, how that's going to be helping so many people. And he's talking about more on the way, which, as I mentioned to you, he wants to stay the majority leader. He does not want to be the minority leader. So the pressure is on for Democrats that hold full control of Congress to get things done. And we will see what they're able to accomplish here before these midterm elections. and I will keep you up to date every step of the way. But you guys, that is the latest, and as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for me, helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's free. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, just takes a second. Any specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance, and also the relief roadmap. Pretty soon, everybody will have full access. Planning on doing that this week, and I will be responding to any technical questions that come up at contact@reliefroadmap.com. And you guys, thank you so much. I know that that's going to be such a blessing. Looking forward to it. And I will catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.